to all global problems that we have now. So the G20 Religion Forum, or the R20, will be a platform where religious leaders from around the world can have an honest, straightforward, but certainly more meaningful conversation among each other on the topic, so that hopefully anything that is in reality posting as a source of problem from inside religion can be identified and then be resolved. And from there, people of religion can start to think about empowering religion as a source and a significant force toward finding the solutions of various global problems faced by humanity nowadays. We hope that this G20 Religion Forum, or R20, can be an annual event from one G20 forum to another every year, and will be the anchor of a broader strategy employed by people of religion around the world to contribute in a constructive and positive way for all humanity to find a more noble future of human civilization, a future of global civilization that is imbued by the noble and spiritual values of religion and manifested into a truly just and harmonious order based upon respect for the equality of rights and dignity of every human being. In this way, we are welcoming you, all speakers and participants of the G20 Region Forum, or R20, not just to participate in this event, but we are welcoming you to join a global endeavor to strive together, struggle together, to contribute for a better future for all humanity. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bersamaan dengan presidensi Indonesia untuk G20, pertemuan tahunan negara-negara paling kuat secara ekonomi di dunia, pengurus besar Nahdlatul Ulama bekerja sama dengan Liga Muslim Dunia akan menggelar forum agama G20, yakni Religion 20 atau R20 di Bali. Forum ini menjadi tempat berkumpulnya para pemimpin berbagai agama dan negara untuk menyampaikan keprihatinannya serta menyuarakan nilai-nilai peradaban bersama, serta membantu memastikan bahwa agama di abad ke-21 berfungsi sebagai sumber solusi yang tulus dan dinamis daripada masalah, yaitu bagaimana mencegah penggunaan identitas sebagai senjata, membatasi penyebaran kebencian komunal, mempromosikan solidaritas dan rasa hormat di antara beragam masyarakat, budaya, dan bangsa di dunia, dan menumbuhkan munculnya tatanan dunia yang benar-benar adil dan harmonis yang didasarkan pada penghormatan terhadap persamaan hak dan martabat setiap manusia. Kami mengundang Anda untuk menyimak seluruh rangkaian kegiatan ini melalui kanal resmi PBNU, Televisi Nahdlatul Ulama.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Yahya Khalil Stakuf, Chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama of Indonesia. On behalf of Nahdlatul Ulama, I welcome all speakers and participants of the G20 Religion Forum or R20, which is going to be held on the 2nd and the 3rd of November this year in Nusa Dua, Bali. This forum is designed to be a platform where religious leaders from around the world, from all faiths and nations, can discuss with each other problems related to religion. It is undeniable that up until now, we are still facing a reality where religion is still part of the problems. We have various ongoing conflicts in various areas in the world where religion is the source and the justification for various groups to engage in those conflicts. So it is not unreasonable for some people to think that religion is actually part of the problem or even source of problems. This is a great challenge to people of religion, since the faith of religion drive the adherents of every religion to think that the religion they have faith for should be a source of all the problems they have in life. So what is now becoming an ultimate challenge for the people of religion is to find a way that religion can be truly manifested not as problems but as solution to all global problems that we have now. So the G20 Religion Forum, or the R20, will be a platform where religious leaders from around the world can have an honest, straightforward, but certainly more meaningful conversation among each other on the topic, so that hopefully anything that is in reality posting as a source of problem from inside religion can be identified and then be resolved. And from there, people of religion can start to think about empowering religion as a source and a significant force toward finding the solutions of various global problems faced by humanity nowadays. We hope that this G20 Religion Forum, or R20, can be an annual event from one G20 forum to another every year, and will be the anchor of a broader strategy employed by people of religion around the world to contribute in a constructive and positive way for all humanity to find a more noble future of human civilization, a future of global civilization that is imbued by the noble and spiritual values of religion and manifested into a truly just and harmonious order based upon respect for the equality of rights and dignity of every human being. In this way, we are welcoming you, all speakers and participants of the G20 Region Forum, or R20, not just to participate in this event, but we are welcoming you to join a global endeavor to strive together, struggle together, to contribute for a better future for all humanity. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bersamaan dengan presidensi Indonesia untuk G20, pertemuan tahunan negara-negara paling kuat secara ekonomi di dunia, pengurus besar Nahdlatul Ulama bekerja sama dengan Liga Muslim Dunia akan menggelar forum agama G20, yakni Religion 20 atau R20 di Bali. Forum ini menjadi tempat berkumpulnya para pemimpin berbagai agama dan negara untuk menyampaikan keprihatinannya serta menyuarakan nilai-nilai peradaban bersama, serta membantu memastikan bahwa agama di abad ke-21 berfungsi sebagai sumber solusi yang tulus dan dinamis daripada masalah, yaitu bagaimana mencegah penggunaan identitas sebagai senjata, membatasi penyebaran kebencian komunal, mempromosikan solidaritas dan rasa hormat di antara beragam masyarakat, budaya, dan bangsa di dunia, dan menumbuhkan munculnya tatanan dunia yang benar-benar adil dan harmonis yang didasarkan pada penghormatan terhadap persamaan hak dan martabat setiap manusia. Kami mengundang Anda untuk menyimak seluruh rangkaian kegiatan ini melalui kanal resmi PBNU, Televisi Nahdlatul Ulama. Bersamaan dengan presidensi Indonesia untuk G20, pertemuan tahunan negara-negara paling kuat secara ekonomi di dunia, pengurus besar Nahdlatul Ulama bekerja sama dengan Liga Muslim Dunia akan menggelar forum agama G20, yakni Religion 20 atau R20 di Bali. Forum ini menjadi tempat berkumpulnya para pemimpin berbagai agama dan negara untuk menyampaikan keprihatinannya serta menyuarakan nilai-nilai peradaban bersama, serta membantu memastikan bahwa agama di abad ke-21 berfungsi sebagai sumber solusi yang tulus dan dinamis daripada masalah, yaitu bagaimana mencegah penggunaan identitas sebagai senjata, membatasi penyebaran kebencian komunal, mempromosikan solidaritas dan rasa hormat di antara beragam masyarakat, budaya, dan bangsa di dunia, dan menumbuhkan munculnya tatanan dunia yang benar-benar adil dan harmonis yang didasarkan pada penghormatan terhadap persamaan hak dan martabat setiap manusia. Kami mengundang Anda untuk menyimak seluruh rangkaian kegiatan ini melalui kanal resmi PBNU.
Selamat datang kepada Ketua Umum Pengurus Besar Nahdlatul Ulama Kiai Haji Yahya Holil Stakuf. Juga pada sore hari ini bersama dengan Ma'ali Syekh Dr. Muhammad Ibnu Abdul Karim Al-Aisa min Rabita Al-Alam Al-Islami min Mamlaka Al-Arabiyah As-Saudiyah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'd. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Naharukum sa'id ayyuhal hadirun, ahlan wa sahlan bi qudumikum fi Pondok Grand Hyatt Bali di barnamiji Muktamar As-Sahafi Press. Kami hormati seluruh rekan-rekan awak media. Let's begin our agenda today by reciting Ummul Quran. Ala dunia wa ala kulli niyatin sholihah. Al-Fatihah. Now let's take a look at the remarks from General Chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama Central Board Kiai Haji Yahya Holil Stakuf, wa kadzalika ba'daha al-istima' al-kalimat min baini yaday Ma'ali Syekh Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Aisa Ar-Rabita Al-Alam Al-Islami min Mamlaka Al-Arabiyah As-Saudiyah. Falyatafaddal 'alaikum mashkuran.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable General Secretary of Muslim World League, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Aisa, honorable delegations from the Muslim World League and from the Central Board of Nahdlatul Ulama, and also from the Center for Shared Civilization Values. Friends, journalists, thank you for being here with us. The idea of having this conference of religious leaders, of international religious leaders, has been developed in the Central Board of Nahdlatul Ulama right after the National Congress, which we had last December. The idea is to have international religious leaders to gather and have conversation, an honest and straightforward conversation regarding two fundamental topics. First, how we can address the problematic reality of communal relationship between different religious groups that in reality is still a very problematic situation in various places in the world. And the second, regarding how the religious leaders can develop a vision about religion as a source of solution to various global problems by infusing the noble and spiritual values of religions into the dynamics of international politics and economy. Since Indonesia is the host of this year's G20 forum, has the annual presidency of G20 this year, so the Central Board of Nahdlatul Ulama brought this idea to the government. We met the President, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, and proposed this idea to be adopted in the G20 forum. And we've got the approval from the government. Now, the vision of this agenda is that we want to bring it further, not just as a one-off event or conference, but we are looking for the development of this idea into a global movement. That is why we brought this idea to the government to be adopted at the G20 forum, so that this R20 or G20 religious forum can be adopted into the annual G20 forum from year to year. So because we want to develop this idea into a global movement, we need a really strong and prominent partner to join us and go together with us in this endeavor. That is why then we invited Muslim World League, Rabita Alam Islami, because Muslim World League we regard as the most important entity in the Muslim world, as an international organization, and we believe that in collaboration with the Muslim World League and with the willingness of Muslim World League to lend its leverage, our vision to have this idea to become international and global movement can be more realistically achieved, inshallah. So we thank with utmost grateful the Muslim World League and His Excellency Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Isa for joining us in this endeavor and lending all that World Muslim League has as a leverage, resources, and network, so that this movement can be seen as something that significant in the global, in the current global dynamics, and can raise hopes for believers of various religions and for all humanity. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا الهادي الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فيسعدني باسم رابطة العالم الإسلامي أن نكون في هذه المنصة العالمية، منصة R20، في إطار قمة G20، والتي سعدنا كثيرا بأننا نتشارك مع جمعية وهيئة نهضة العلماء، والتي يرأسها أخي وصديقي الشيخ الفاضل الشيخ يحيى، ويديرها بكفاءة عالية. لا شك أن هذه الخطوة وهذه الفكرة الرائدة المتميزة في إطارها العالمي تعد إضافة نوعية للفعاليات الرسمية المصاحبة للG20. القادة الدينيون والمهتمون في السياق الديني عليهم مسؤولية كبيرة، ولديهم في هذا الشأن اهتمام بعدد من القضايا العالمية، ولا سيما ما يتعلق بتعزيز السلام في عالمنا ومعالجة مشكلاته، وأيضا تعزيز الوئام في المجتمعات الوطنية وتعزيز تعايشها على أكمل وجه. في R20 هناك العديد من المحاور، وهي محاور مهمة، وعزمت إدارة أو رئاسة R20 على أن تطلع بهذا الجهد، ولا سيما أن هذه المنصة حظيت بموافقة رسمية من رئاسة G20 لفخامة رئيس الجمهورية الأندونيسية. ولا شك أن هذا الاهتمام من قبل رئاسة G20 يعبر عن تقديره الكبير، وأيضا يعبر عن إيمانه العميق بأهمية دور الأديان في معالجة عدد من المشكلات العالمية، وأيضا تقديم الحلول الاستشرافية لمنع أي من الأحداث التي قد يكون لأسبابها جذور دينية في تحليل البعض أو في انتهاك البعض لمعاني ودلالة النصوص الدينية. لدى R20 اهتمام كبير بتعزيز التفاهم بين الحضارات والثقافات، وكذلك وما يعتبر المؤسس عبر التاريخ لتشكيل هذه الحضارات والثقافات، وهي الأديان، أن يكون هناك مد للجسور يتجاوز المفهوم التقليدي للحوار، والذي دام عقودا طويلة دون أن يحقق الأهداف المأمولة في تعزيز العلاقة والتحالف الإنساني والتعاون الإنساني بين الشرق والغرب، وأيضا منعا لأي مفهوم أو مبادرة خاطئة أو مريبة لإحداث الصدام والصراع بين الحضارات والثقافات. في الآر 20 إرادة صادقة، في الآر 20 مفاهيم إنسانية عميقة وحكيمة، من شأنها أن تعزز العلاقة اللازمة بين الجميع من أجل صالح الجميع، لبناء تحالف ديني وتحالف ثقافي، تحالف حضاري حول المشتركات الدينية والثقافية والحضارية، يجمع الإنسانية، يجمع الأديان على وجه الخصوص قيم مشتركة لا بد أن نعمل عليها. هذه القيم كفيلة بأن تسهم إسهاما كبيرا في إحلال السلام والوئام في عالم اليوم. أيضا ستكون هناك حوارات تتعلق بمحاور أخرى في هذه المنصة، هذه القمة الدينية، ونعتقد أنها قمة استثنائية، ولو لم يكن في هذه القمة إلا أنها تأسست بشكل رسمي ضمن جسد G20، بحيث انطلقت هذه الانطلاقة القوية، ونقدر الدعم الذي تفضل به فخامة رئيس الجمهورية الأندونيسية لإطلاق هذه المنصة بشكل رسمي. ونقدر أيضا لهيئة نهضة العلماء إسهامها الكبير وحرصها بل ومبادرتها في أن تنطلق منظومة أو منصة أو قمة أيا كانت التسمية والتي يمكن أن تفسر حول العالم للآر 20. نقدر هذا الطموح الكبير لفضيلة الشيخ يحيى، وأيضا نحن في الرابطة وباسم الشعوب الإسلامية ولا سيما العلماء والمفكرين المنضوين تحت رابطة العالم الإسلامي، وكذلك الشباب الإسلامي والجميع بالآلاف حول العالم ولله الحمد، سعداء جدا بأن نكون مع جمعية نهضة العلماء في هذه الانطلاقة التأسيسية. ونقدر لهيئة نهضة العلماء هذه الشراكة، والتي بإذن الله عز وجل ستكون شراكة مستدامة من أجل أن نحقق الأهداف المرجوة للعالم بتنوع هذا العالم على كافة المستويات، تطلعهم نحو الواجب الذي يجب أن يطلع به القادة الدينيون من أجل الإسهام في معالجة المشكلات حول العالم، والإسهام تحديدا في صناعة السلام العالمي والوئام الوطني حول عالمنا. نعلم أن هناك مشكلات، وغالب هذه المشكلات تأتي من أهداف مادية بحتة أو من مفاهيم خاطئة أو من البعد عن بعض، بحيث يكون هناك فجوة يدخل من خلال هذه الفجوة الأشرار. على القادة الدينيين مسؤولية كبيرة في أن يطلعوا بواجبهم في هذا الشأن المهم. بناء الجسور مهم للغاية، لأنه أمر عملي فعال ملموس يخطو خطوة إلى الأمام، خطوة عملية يتجاوز مجرد الأقوال والتنظيرات والأماني، يتجاوز ذلك إلى الأفعال. من هنا من بالي في جمهورية أندونيسيا ستنطلق هذه المنصة، هذه الفعالية، هذه القمة الدينية الآر 20 لتحقق الأهداف المأمولة منها، وأيضا تحقق الطموح الذي تأسست على ضوئه، وأيضا طموح رئاسة G20 لفخامة رئيس الجمهورية الأندونيسية. لا أحب أن أطيل عليكم، وأيضا أقدر ما تفضل به فضيلة أخي وزميلي وصديقي الشيخ يحيى في استهلالته قبل قليل حول هذا الموضوع، والذي وضع النقاط فيه على الحروف ومعقبا بهذه الكلمات في هذا السياق: والسلام عليكم.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang mulia Syekh Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Isa, yang terhormat delegasi dari MWL dan delegasi dari PBNU serta delegasi dari CSCV. Ide mengenai forum ini berkembang sejak acara Kongres NU di bulan Desember lalu, dan idenya adalah bahwa para pemimpin agama dari seluruh dunia berkumpul dan berbicara secara terbuka dan jujur tentang dua topik, yaitu bagaimana mengatasi masalah relasi dari berbagai grup dan agama di dunia ini, dan kedua, bagaimana para pemimpin agama dunia dapat mengembangkan visi tentang agama sebagai solusi masalah dunia dengan memakai nilai-nilai luhur agama di dinamika politik dan ekonomi global. PBNU mengajukan usulan kepada pemerintah Indonesia, mengingat tahun ini Indonesia merupakan presidensi G20, dan ini sudah disetujui oleh Presiden. Kemudian visi kami adalah membawa gerakan ini sebagai gerakan global dan menggunakan forum G20. Dan ini sudah disetujui sebagai acara tahunan G20. Untuk mewujudkan visi sebagai gerakan global, kami memerlukan partner yang kuat. Oleh sebab itu kami bekerja sama dengan MWL yang merupakan organisasi paling penting di dunia Muslim. Dengan kolaborasi dengan MWL, kami berharap visi untuk membawa gerakan ini menjadi gerakan global dapat terwujud dengan memanfaatkan segala sumber daya dan network yang dimiliki oleh MWL. Oleh sebab itu, saya ingin berterima kasih kepada MWL dan Yang Mulia Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Isa. Terima kasih.
Sahibul Fakhamah Ma'ali Al-Amin Al-Am li Rabitatil Alam Al-Islami wa Rais Hay'ah Ulama'il Muslimin Ma'ali Syekh Ad-Doktor Muhammad Abdul Karim Al-Isa wa al-ikhwah al-murafiqun lahu min Rabitatil Alam Al-Islami, Ashabul Fadilah al-ikhwah min Markaz Taqasum al-Qiyam al-Hadariyah wa al-ikhwah as-suhafiyun as-sadah wa sayyidat al-hudur al-kiram. Awalan ana atasharraf bi wujudi ma'a ma'ali al-amin al-am wa al-wufud al-murafiqun lahu, wa aidan nashkuru ala tawajudi al-ikhwah as-suhafiyin hina fi hadal mu'tamar as-suhafi. Fa awalan tarji'u fikrah ta'sis muntada Majmu'ah Adyanil Ishrin fi syahri Desember fi sana al-madiyah khilala mu'tamar Nahdlatul Ulama. Fa nahnu nufakkir an nuassis majmu'ah atau muntada alami yajma'u kubbar al-qiyadat ad-diniyah min jami'i anha'il alam, nad'uhum ala kalimatin sawa fi tawilatin wahidatin lil hiwar wal munaqashah wal mubahathah kaifa tastati'u an nuhaddida al masyakil al waqi'iyyah baina atba'il adyan au al masyakil allati tarji'u asbabuha ilal adyan. Wasanian, Indonesia al-an tatara'asu in'iqad ijtima majmu'atil ishrin li hadhihi sanah. Fa Nahdlatul Ulama qamat bi irsali risalatin ila fakhamah Rais Jumhuriyah Indonesia wa tuqaddim fiqrah waqtirah lin'iqad muntada majmu'atil adyan at-tabi'ah li majmu'atil 20 ka majmu'ah musyarikah wa musahibah laha wa qad wafaqa fakhamatur rais Jumhuriyah Indonesia ala hadzal iqtirah. Rabi'an, inna muntada majmu'ati adyanil 20 laisa munasabah au muntada adiyah fahasba bal nahnu nurid an naj'alaha ila harakah insaniyah alamiyah mustadamah tastati an tusahima li islahil mustaqbal al insani abara daurul qadah ad-diniyin au abara al qiyam ad-diniyah al aliyah wa nahnu aidan naqtarih an tuaqqad jalasat ijtima muntada majmu'atil 20 min sanatin ila sana wa aidan natamanna an tatatabbaqu tawsiyatiha li hululil masyakil fi ardil waqi' wa aidan li tahqiqi al ahdaf al marjuwah. Wa qad tatasharrafu jam'iyah Nahdlatul Ulama biqabul wa muwafaqah ar-rabitah al-alam al-islami litusbiha syarikatan istiratijiyatan wa muhimmatan li adai hadhihi risalah al-insaniyah wa li adai hadhil muhimmah al-hadariyah. Fa rabitatil alam al-islami hiya muassasah islamiyah alamiyah azimah kabira laha ta'thir wa nufudh qawi jiddan fi sairi al-alam al-islami wa ana sakhsiyan uqaddir ghayat at-taqdir ala qabul wa muwafaqah akhi al-aziz wal ghali ma'ali syekh Muhammad bin Abdul Karim al-Isa al-Amin al-Am li Rabitatil Alam al-Islami ala hadzal qabul wa ala hadhihi al-muwafaqah wa natamanna an nakuna syarikah daimah li tahqiqi hadhihi al-ahdaf wal muhimmah al-insaniyah wal hadariyah. Wa akhiran natamanna an tu'ti majmu'ah adyanil 20 amalan wa tafaulan li mustaqbalil hadarah al insaniyah wal basyariyah kal mustaqbal al aktsar salaman wa wi'aman wa ikha'an wa amanan. Hadza minni wa tahiyyati lakum jami'an, syukran, wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Perkenankan saya untuk menerjemahkan atau menyampaikan beberapa poin yang telah disampaikan oleh Bapak yang mulia Dr. Syekh Muhammad Abdul Karim Al-Isa. Yang pertama-tama, beliau menyampaikan kegembiraan beliau yang sangat luar biasa dapat hadir pada kesempatan yang berbahagia ini, dan dalam rangka menghadiri konferensi pers terkait dengan R20 yang merupakan bagian dari rangkaian G20. Beliau menyampaikan terima kasih dan kebahagiaan yang sangat luar biasa dengan berada di sini di tempat ini bersama sahabat beliau, rekan beliau, saudara beliau, Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf yang merupakan tokoh di balik suksesnya acara ini, dan juga bagaimana upaya beliau yang profesional dalam mewujudkan acara ini dengan sebaik-baiknya. Beliau juga menyampaikan kegembiraan beliau dapat bekerja sama dengan lembaga Nahdlatul Ulama yang merupakan lembaga Islam terbesar atau ormas Islam terbesar di Indonesia. Berikutnya beliau menekankan bahwa kita menghadapi banyak problem saat ini di dunia internasional. Ada persoalan-persoalan konflik yang dilatari oleh faktor agama dan juga perbedaan di kalangan antar kelompok, dan merupakan tugas kita untuk bagaimana mewujudkan perdamaian dan membangun harmoni di antara semua kalangan. Forum R20 ini merupakan forum yang sangat penting bagi kita untuk bagaimana mewujudkan berbagai gagasan untuk mewujudkan perdamaian ini secara nyata. Sebab selama ini sudah ada begitu banyak dialog yang dilakukan, tapi semua itu masih dalam tataran konsep, tataran kata-kata, tapi inilah saatnya bagaimana kita mewujudkan dalam aksi nyata, di mana acara R20 ini bahkan sudah mendapatkan persetujuan dari Presiden Republik Indonesia sebagai sebagai Presiden G20 untuk tahun ini. Dan memang kita akui bahwa ada banyak persoalan yang muncul dari akarnya agama. Dalam konsep itulah kemudian muncul pemikiran untuk bagaimana menjadikan forum ini, merupakan forum R20 ini merupakan forum yang dapat menghadirkan solusi-solusi, memetakan masalah-masalah yang terjadi, menguraikan akar-akar konflik yang berasal dari agama, sehingga dapat dipahami bahwa kemudian yang menjadi persoalan daripada selama ini konflik yang latar belakang agama itu didasari pertama faktor materi, ada konflik kepentingan materi di sini, ada juga persoalan ketidakpahaman atau ketidaktahuan terhadap terhadap teks-teks agama, dan juga ada upaya penyimpangan yang dilakukan secara sengaja terhadap teks-teks agama itu. Oleh karena itu upaya ini, forum ini yang merupakan forum puncak yang dihadiri oleh para petinggi perwakilan dari berbagai agama dan kelompok, ini merupakan bagian dari aksi nyata untuk mengatasi atau memberikan solusi yang komprehensif terhadap berbagai persoalan yang terjadi saat ini. Dan bagaimana merupakan tugas dari R20 untuk bagaimana mewujudkan adanya Assalamul Alami, perdamaian di level internasional, dan juga ada harmoni harmoni nasional di antara berbagai pihak. Dan berbagai harmoni ini di antara entitas kebangsaan ini semestinya saling menguatkan satu sama lain dan tidak saling mereduksi. Selanjutnya yang beliau juga menyampaikan bahwa atas mengulang kembali terima kasih beliau kepada Yang Mulia Bapak Ketua PBNU, Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf, yang telah mengupayakan acara ini dengan sebaik-baiknya, mendorong upaya ini agar terjadinya dialog yang dapat mengkristalisasi upaya perdamaian di seluruh dunia. Beliau atas nama Rabitul Alam Islami, Liga Muslim Dunia, dan seluruh bagian-bagiannya menyampaikan penghargaan setinggi-tingginya kepada Nahdlatul Ulama, dan beliau menekankan adanya ke depan bahwa kerjasama ini akan bersifat permanen insyaallah dengan Nahdlatul Ulama. Dan sekali lagi ini merupakan kesempatan yang sangat luar biasa bahwa dari Bali lah forum R20 ini akan menyuarakan aksi nyata untuk mewujudkan perdamaian di seluruh dunia dan juga harmoni antar berbagai penganut agama. Terima kasih.
Bapak dan Ibu, kita berikan tepuk tangan yang paling meriah. Thank you for the speech, Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf, and also nashkurukum alal kalimat, Syekh Alisa. Nufaddilukum antar kelemakan al-Mu'tamar Sahafi. Kami persilahkan kepada Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf dan juga Syekh Muhammad Isa untuk dapat meninggalkan ruangan press conference. Kepada rekan-rekan media, kita masih akan melanjutkan rangkaian acara press conference bersama dengan spokesperson R20, Bapak Najib Aska dan juga Bapak Wahab. Kepada Bapak Abdul Wahab dan juga kepada Bapak Muhammad Najib Aska, kami mohon kesediaannya untuk dapat menanggapi atau merespon di forum Q&A bersama dengan rekan-rekan media. Dan juga kami ingatkan kepada seluruh rekan-rekan awak media untuk tidak melakukan doorstop kepada Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf dan juga kepada Syekh Muhammad Alisa. Baik, untuk forum press conference selanjutnya akan dipimpin oleh Bapak Muhammad Najib Aska yang akan memberikan pengarahan dan juga Bapak Abdul Wahab, spokesperson dari Muslim World League, dan juga dari CSCV ada Bapak Holland Taylor. Kami persilahkan untuk dapat mengambil tempat di depan. Kami persilahkan kepada rekan-rekan awam media untuk dapat kembali ke tempat duduk yang telah disediakan. Baik, mungkin mikrofonnya bisa diaktifkan Mas yang bagian depan.
Oke.
Terima kasih. Selanjutnya silahkan kepada Gus Najib Aska.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang menjelang sore teman-teman jurnalis yang saya hormati, yang saya cintai. Saya sendiri mantan jurnalis, jadi merasa menjadi bagian dari teman-teman semua. Okay, dear journalist friends, so I'm going to follow up actually the press conference conducted by Kiai Yahya Khalil Stakuf with Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Al-Isa, which just finished actually a few minutes ago. So we are going to have like question and answer, yeah, tanya jawab for the some issue related with R20. So we are open for opportunity for all of you, student. Sorry. I'm also a lecturer. I'm also a lecturer at Department of Sociology in Gajah Mada, so sometimes I'm making some mistake on that. Sorry, very sorry. So we are opening for question and answer. Okay, silakan ya. You can use bahasa Indonesia or English actually or Arabic. Yes, sorry, yeah, Arabic. So we have actually interpreter over there, so it will be no problem for all of you to raise a question either in bahasa or in Arabic or in English ya. Please, silakan Ibu yang tadi sudah duluan tadi ya. Please, Mbak. Hey, okay.
Tes.
Please,
okay. Terima
introduce
kasih.
yourself ya. Kenalkan dulu ya.
Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Genta. I'm from Antara News Agency. My question, first, G20 mainly discuss about economic and social issues. Meanwhile, R20 is more into religion. What kind of maybe solutions or objectives offered by R20 to be in line with G20 forums? And Nahdlatul Ulama as the founder, initiator of this movement, what kind of maybe strategy that it will take to make this kind of meeting continue after Indonesia finish its presidency? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will start and then will also follow by our dear college from World Muslim League, Rabitah Alam Islami, and also Pak Holland Taylor from CSCV. So thanks very much for the question. Yeah, this is as also mentioned previously by Gus Yahya, yeah, that this is actually very much the idea which has developed following actually long engagement of him and also Nahdlatul Ulama with the issue of actually peace in the world. By taking opportunity of Indonesia as the president of G20, then Gus Yahya, Sheikh Yahya, actually then formulate an idea together with religious leader from all over the world to discuss and to try to formulate how actually religion contribute to solve global crisis, which some of the problem is actually related, very much related with religion as especially identity. So following that, so actually we believe, Nahdlatul Ulama actually believe that actually religions could be a source of genuine inspiration for solving the global crisis through actually the noble values belong to religion. By actually formulating that way, actually that we believe that actually through this forum, R20, actually we could come together and then work together. It's also mentioned by Sheikh Al-Isa that we will actually materialize actually our agreement into action. Yeah, so R20 will be a real movement for building actually peaceful civilization. And the last point actually about how we actually ensure the continuity of R20 in the next year. We have actually developed very good communication with some parties from India who will be the presidents of the next G20. And as you will know, you'll see then that there are several actually leaders from India who is coming to this forum and will contribute actually to that event, and also to ensure actually that the event will be continuing in the next year. Okay, thank you very much. Please, Wahab. Okay.
So I think, first of all, thank you so much for everyone who joined us in this press conference. I think also my colleagues already spoke about and answered your questions, but I can add one more point. Some people in the world would criticize religions, and they think it's a source of extremism, problems, hunger, ignorance, etc. And today, the main topic in the conference is to show people religion can be the main solution and the main thing that we can also use to promote moderation, to build better societies, to develop economy, and so on. So today we will prove from the Islamic principles first, and also with other religions leaders, that all religions agree to have a better life for everyone in the world. And anyone who is trying to prove something else, he's wrong, and those people who are trying to be extremists in the world, they are not the true representative of their religions. So this is what I can mention. Mr. Holland, maybe you have something to add.
Thank you, Wahab. I will just give one example. Yesterday, we held a ceremony in a Balinese village where it's called Puja Mandala. They have 5 different places of religious worship side by side: a mosque, a Catholic church, a Protestant church, a Buddhist vihara, and a Hindu temple. There was a ceremony held in this village, which was attended by Sheikh Al-Isa, also attended by a very prominent Swami from India named Bhadrash Das. I think most of you probably know the Muslim World League. You may not know Swami Bhadrash Das's organization, but that organization was founded in 1905. They've built more than 1,100 temples and 3,400 religious centers around the world. The event was also, obviously, and of course, hosted by, in the Hindu temple, by some of the most prominent Hindu priests and high priests in Bali, and also by the Muslim community in the Muslim mosque. There was a tree planting ceremony, and this connects to an understanding within Balinese Hinduism and traditional culture here in Indonesia regarding what we call spiritual ecology, the movement that was launched yesterday jointly by at the R20, jointly by Nahdlatul Ulama and an organization within Nahdlatul Ulama called Les Bumi, which is an Indonesian Islamic Cultural Association, and by Sheikh Al-Isa and the Muslim World League. This idea of spiritual ecology, symbolically, there were 20 plants that are regarded within Balinese culture as having a sacral character. And, but this is related to the idea of reestablishing a spiritual connection between humanity and God, between human beings, one another, between human beings and wildlife and animals, between human beings and nature, and building a spiritual ecology, because obviously the news media knows that every single day, if there's any international forum, people are talking about ecology. But ecology is almost always discussed in secular terms, not in religious terms, not in spiritual terms. And anything, if we think about it, anything which is purely secular is also focused on what the mind can comprehend. And we know technology. If we look at secular ecology, it's a secular approach to solving problems caused by the human mind applying itself technologically to its environment. If we think about nuclear technology or nuclear bombs, they were created by the human mind. The human mind is capable of focusing remarkably in a way to develop technology that impacts the human environment, nature, but the human mind cannot calculate all the ramifications of the application of that technology. The entire principle of Balinese Hinduism, Sheikh Al-Isa at the mosque planted a tree. He also planted a tree with the Hindu priests inside the Hindu temple. And this is really quite remarkable because from both an Islamic perspective and a Hindu perspective, there's an understanding of the necessity of a nature between the individual, God, humanity, and nature. And then this was expressed very vividly yesterday by Sheikh Al-Isa, together with the Balinese priests and the priest from the Swami from India, engage in action. This is an exact action and starting of a movement to really add. You were asking, what can religion contribute to the G20? Religion can contribute two things. 85% of the world's population are religious believers. Of course, they should have a seat at the table of discussion and decision at the G20. Also, those religious followers and leaders are present within countries all around the world that do not belong to the G20. And so by the Muslim World League and Nahdlatul Ulama jointly hosting this event here, they're giving voice not only to religion, but to the aspirations of the world, of humanity, not only those from G20 nation states, but also the people of the Global South who have no representation normally within the G20. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Wahab. Of course, yeah. Actually, I would like to introduce you here, coming to the stage, also His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Al-Hayat, actually the representative of Rabitah Alam Islami in Indonesia. So, any other question and comment? Okay, please, Mas.
Selamat sore. Salam kenal, saya Vito dari Kompas.com. Maaf pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Oke.
Mau tanya Gus, pertama bagaimana tadi disebutkan Gus Yahya juga, bagaimana PBNU ini bisa meyakini bahwa forum R20 ini akan menjadi terobosan yang punya output konkret terhadap masalah-masalah yang tadi disebutkan itu, karena kan forum ini tidak akan menghasilkan semacam kesepakatan yang bisa diratifikasi, semacam agreement dari PBB gitu. Bagaimana memastikan bahwa forum R20 ini akan menjadi suatu forum yang lebih menggigit gitu ketimbang upaya-upaya yang sudah dilakukan NU sebelumnya dengan Mr. Holland Taylor melewat Baitur Rahmah atau Live for All gitu. Yang kedua, tadi selalu disebut soal forum ini berupaya menjadikan agama sebagai sumber solusi dari global crisis, tapi but what crisis gitu, maksudnya ada begitu banyak krisis, apakah itu isu lingkungan atau politik? Dan kalau misalkan politik, ada sedikit penasaran saya kenapa di R20 ini tidak ada perwakilan dari Iran atau mungkin dari Taliban yang sebetulnya sedang menghadapi masalah konkret soal sosial politik dan agama. Terima kasih, itu aja.
Oke, terima kasih. Please translate the issue.
I'm Vito from Kompas.com. I have two questions. One about Gus Yahya. He was mentioning that about the R20 producing a concrete output. How are you going to produce a concrete output? Because this forum is not going to produce an outcome that can be ratified. How is it different with the other Nahdlatul Ulama endeavor? And the second one is religion as the source of solution of global crisis. Which crisis is this? Is it environment or political? And why in this R20 there is no delegation from Iran or Taliban?
Okay, thank you. In Arab, please.
وبالنسبة لسؤال من كومباس هو كان سؤالان. أولا ما هي الأبعاد والتطلعات التي ممكن أن تتحقق من خلال R20 التي يتماشى مع قمة مجموعة ال20. هذا واحد. رقم اثنين ما هي صورة الذي أو يعني ممكن أن ممكن أن يصدر من ممكن أن تصل من خلال قمة R20 لأنه ما يتم الدعوة إلى الوفود من إيران أو ليس هناك تمثيل من إيران أو طالبان الذي هي في الحقيقة هم يواجهون المشاكل.
First, why we believe that it will be important movement regarding how actually religion could contribute to global crisis. We believe that R20 is part of actually cultural and spiritual movement, which is not less important than actually a political one. Of course, the cultural and spiritual movement of R20 having a political impact and dimension. And we are very aware of this, and because of this actually forum actually participated by many leaders with very many followers actually throughout the world, either from Muslim, from Hindus, from Catholic, from Protestant, from Buddhist, and so on and so on. So yeah, we believe that actually R20 as a spiritual and cultural movement will have a very significant impact, of course in tandem with others kind of forces. Yeah, the reality that R20 is a part of G20, of course, meaning that we are not isolated as a religious movement, but we are in concert. Yeah, in actually connection and also with good relationship with actually government and other political forces. For the last one, what kind of crisis we are going to actually address? Different kind of crisis, but of course including some crisis related with, let's say, religion. We know that actually religion become the source of conflict in some areas, as also mentioned by my dear friend Wahab before, part of extremism, of radicalism, and also kind of communal conflict in several places. And we believe that through this forum, actually religious leader will actually come to a kind of a vision for together for transforming actually religion to be actually important inspiration for global solution. Of course, as Pak Holland also mentioned before, that ecological crisis is also another very important crisis today, and we are also putting that issue into the theme of the conference of R20 summit. Thank you. Please.
So most of our problems and issues didn't start overnight. Most of them have been around us for so many years. We are not expecting to solve these problems today or tomorrow. But I think R20 is a huge international platform that helps us to work for the long term. So we are going to participate in different aspects to be part of the solutions in different issues in the world. It could be political, it could be economical, it could be related to religions, it could be related to different things around the world. So, but we will be optimistic, looking to the future, to be part of the solution.
The gentleman who asked the question is clearly familiar with the dynamics in Indonesia for many years and knows, although not everyone here may know, especially our foreign guests, that Nahdlatul Ulama has been working for many, many years in a very systematic and institutional way to come to the point where we are sitting in front of this sign. And so if I were to say to the gentleman from Kompas and mention ISOMIL, the International Summit of Moderate Islamic Leaders, which was held in 2016, the Gerakan Pemuda Ansor Declaration on Humanitarian Islam, which was issued in 2017, the Nusantara Manifesto, which was presented in 2018, which actually laid a foundation of fiqh al-hadara, of fiqh peradaban, which then led to the 2019 MUNAS, the Musyawara Nasional Alim Ulama Nahdlatul Ulama, which came out with specific rulings that within the context of the modern nation state, the concept of kafir, which is embedded within classical fiqh, which is embedded within classical Islamic orthodoxy, which is very dangerous in the hands of ISIS, or very dangerous in the hands of the Taliban, was ruled by Nahdlatul Ulama to be no longer relevant in the context of a modern nation state. And that instead, that doesn't mean that the term kafir does not exist in Al-Quran. It does. There's the chapter, Surah Al-Kafirun. It's not touching the Quran at all, but how do we apply the Quran, how do we apply the teachings of the Quran to a modern world? And so Nahdlatul Ulama has been working on this for many years. This is the kind of background, both theologically, intellectually, sociologically. I should mention in this context, if you talk about concrete outcomes, starting in July of this year, proceeding through January of next year, Nahdlatul Ulama is holding approximately 215 halaqah, 250 meetings where Muslim theologians, qais, alim ulama are gathering in order to discuss the concept of fiqh al-hadara, of fiqh peradaban. And then to bring and culminate at the 100th anniversary of Nahdlatul Ulama, which will be in early February of next year, 100th anniversary in the Hijriya calendar, a Muktamar Fiqh Peradaban, where Nahdlatul Ulama will invite religious and political leaders from the entire Muslim world to discuss this issue. How to create a civilizational fiqh, how to create an understanding of Islamic law that enables the world enables Muslims to coexist peacefully with non-Muslims. This is extremely relevant in the context of what's happening in Saudi Arabia. We cannot speak for Saudi Arabia. We cannot, certainly cannot speak for Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, but we can only observe. And as we observe, it appears to us that there are certain processes of change occurring in Saudi Arabia, and a realization that for Saudi Arabia to fully integrate into the modern world, that this is something that, just like Nahdlatul Ulama has the same perception. In order for us to integrate fully with the modern world, there are certain issues that we have to think about. And so from our point of view, what happens internally in other countries is not our business, but at the same time, we very much respect the moves that we see the Muslim World League taking in terms of focusing on issues that bring communities together, and that gets us to the issue of what kinds of crises will the R20 seek to address and solve. Our analysis goes to the heart of identity-based conflict throughout the world today. It doesn't matter whether you're in Hungary, or you're in Poland, or you're in India, or you're in China, you're in America, you're in the UK, you're in Indonesia. We have identity-based crises everywhere in the world. It might be a crisis, identity-based conflict related to religion, it might be related to ethnicity, it might be related to race, it might be linguistic. And so the Nahdlatul Ulama for many years has been concerned about identity-based conflict and not having religion or ethnicity used to provoke conflict, rather have religion serve as a means of solving problems. And this is why Nahdlatul Ulama chose to partner with the Muslim World League. It's clear that the Muslim World League is taking some very significant steps on the world stage. And then the kinds of areas where we would like to address this issue, for example, would be in Nigeria. There's terrible conflict in Nigeria, partly tribal, partly ethnic, partly religious. But this is where you have thousands of people every year being killed. You have houses of worship being burned today as we speak. We have coming to this conference Bishop Nkuba, Henry Nkuba, the leader of 25 million Nigerian Anglicans. This is the largest Anglican community in the world. We have Bishop Matthew Kuka, the Bishop of Sokoto in Nigeria. Each of these people are facing terrible conflict, and we believe that the Nahdlatul Ulama, that the Muslim World League, that other religious organizations joining together at the R20 can help to identify and find solutions to very real problems emerging from polarization and conflict.
Baik, Gus Najib, mohon izin mungkin akan disampaikan oleh translator juga sebelum kita melanjutkan.
Okay, please.
Silakan.
question about from Kompas.com.
I think it's just shortly. I think it's. I think most of actually the audience know what the question and answer, right? Yeah. So yeah, because of actually the time is also limit, so I'm very sorry to go on the question and answer. Actually, for another question. Yeah, another question. Is there any foreign journalist going to raise a question? If no, okay. Yeah, please.
Hello, I'm Dio from the Jakarta Post.
Jakarta Post, okay.
So I would address my first question to Pak Najib. Pak, as is the concern with other working groups in the G20, how confident is the R20 in keeping discussions constructive and stopping diplomacy deadlock from clearly geopolitical tensions over the Russia-Ukraine war? So are there any strategies to be implemented? Secondly, this question goes to Mr. Al-Sheri. Earlier, Gus has mentioned and has referred to the Muslim World League as a really strong and prominent partner. But from your perspective, what kind of message are you looking to bring through the partnership, particularly with Indonesia, being home to the world's largest Muslim population? And lastly, this is for anyone in the panel. The global trend for the past few decades have generally moved away from religious faith and more towards secularism. Clearly, religious institutions still do play a big part in international diplomacy, but does the R20 expect the kind of messages to be also implemented on a grassroots level? And if so, how are you going to look for this to be true? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before responding, I would like to explain a little bit like that Pak Holland Taylor is CEO of CSCV, Center for Shared Civilization Values, is the permanent secretariat of R20 for the next years and so on. Thank you very much. The question from Jakarta Post. So the first one, how we can ensure actually that actually the R20 will not having quite similar experience with some working group in G20, because we heard a lot some problem related with let's say geopolitical issue and so on. We are quite confident with this because actually we have been actually we have been engaging in communication and dialogue with different parties who participating in the R20. So actually, like the R20 forum is a kind of let's say a kind of culmination actually from the previous dialogue have been done for a long time, yeah, by Nahdlatul Ulama and many other parties. So we are quite confident, and so far we didn't find actually a similar problem which is now facing by different working group with G20. Yeah, so far we are running quite well. Yeah, and hopefully everything will be fine until the end. And the next one is actually about how then actually this forum, actually the R20 is actually really part of the, let's say, process of solving actually problem and finding the solution for the problem. Actually, as I mentioned before that, we are part of actually previous long time engagement in the issue, which is we are very confidence actually with the process for finding a way, a kind of consensus or solution with all will be going in the next 2 days of conference of R20 summit. Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you so much for your question. Let me start first with a little introduction about our organization, Muslim World League. So MWL is an international non-governmental organization based in Mecca. So our headquarters in Mecca will be open always to different groups around the world. Since Dr. Isa came to the leadership of Muslim World League in 2017, Muslim World League has done a lot of shifting in their strategy. So Muslim World League now is accepting, or we are opening all the doors for different ethnicity, religions, different groups to be part of our work. What we are trying to do always is trying to promote harmony, coexistence, and peace in general, and using the true image of Islam and the positive image of Islam in our work. So Islam always will be supporting people around the world to guarantee dignity and better life quality. So we already have over 100 partnerships around the world with people in the West, people in Africa, people in the East. And when it comes to Indonesia, especially in such an event like G20, we should have such a partnership with one of the biggest international organization in the world and the biggest one in Indonesia, which is Nahdlatul Ulama. So being partner with Nahdlatul Ulama is an honor for us in the league, and we are very glad to start this relationship in this level of this project, to be working globally together, hand by hand, to promote and to share the same messages that we are trying to do. And one more point, Muslim World League now is an Islamic organization that accepts all different sects. So we have with us in the league, Shia, Sunnah, Sufi, different. So we don't see differences among Muslims. As long as you are able to say, I am a Muslim, and you can go for Hajj and Umrah, you will be more than welcome to be part of the organization. And our message here is to be partner with Nahdlatul Ulama, to be partner in any group around the world to build peace together and to show the people that Islam would support everyone and we accept and respect different religions group.
Thank you. I'll just focus on one aspect or respond in one way to the question that was asked in terms of how to avoid the R20 being riven by divisions such as have occurred at the G20 level this year due to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. So we're obviously very conscious of this. Indonesia is the presidency, holding the presidency. The host of the G20 is aware of this tendency towards conflict. And the very simple way we have of addressing that is that we selected who we chose to invite. And we chose to invite primarily religious leaders who are spiritual leaders. All of us know in Indonesia, for our friends who are Indonesian, kita bisa dengan mudah paham jika kita membicarakan tentang Islam atau kiai-kiai, ada kiai oportunis atau ada kiai materialis atau ada kiai spiritual. Mungkin kita sulit membedakan siapa yang mana, tapi kita tahu dengan persis pasti ada bagian ini, bagian itu. Religious leaders are often like anyone else. Religious leaders are human beings. And so we've chosen to engage with religious leaders who prioritize the noble and spiritual values of religion, who understand how those noble and spiritual values that they embrace are also embraced by people of other faiths, sometimes people of no faith, or people who are agnostic or atheist. The important point is having noble values and embracing those values. And also, we characterize the kinds of academics that we've brought. We've brought likewise, I see in the audience here one academic. I often refer to him as a spiritual atheist. We have a good friend who considers himself an atheist, but we regard him as a very, very spiritual individual. And we often in Europe, when we go to Europe, we meet many spiritual atheists in Europe. Because in their mind is, I'm an atheist. But if you look at their behaviors, they have very, very noble behavior, very moral behavior. And so this is the kind of strategy that we've employed here to invite people that we believe share the objectives of the R20, which is to look for solutions, not for problems.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Holan and Wahab. So I think this all, yeah, we're coming to the end of press conference. Okay, one more, please.
Okay, I would just like to end our meeting today with one message, very short one. I think the responsibility today is not just related to Nahdlatul Ulama and Muslim World League. I think this is the responsibility for everyone here who is representing an exact religion. Could be a Muslim, Catholic, Hindu, whatever you are believing in, this is your responsibility. So especially media people, you have a huge responsibility on your shoulder to be a huge part of our project tomorrow, especially when we establish the conference, to send positive messages to the world, to work together hand by hand, to show the people whatever we believe in, whatever we have in mind, but we share the same goal, to have a better, peaceful world in the future. Help us tomorrow, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll end the question and answer. Of course, we can continue discussion and question and answer because I will be around. Also, I think Wahab and also Pak Holland. So we can continue actually chatting while having coffee or tea and so on and so on. So during the whole session of R20. So thank you very much again for all journalists coming to this press conference. Please give applause to all of us. Yeah. And returning time to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Najib.
Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yes, of course.
Baik, terima kasih kepada Pak Najib Aska, Gus Najib berserta dengan Mr. Abdul Wahab, and also Mr. Holland Taylor, selaku dari CSCV, juga spokesperson R20 dan juga spokesperson dari Muslim World League. Kita berakhir pada rangkaian acara sore hari ini, press conference, kita akhiri dengan lafaz hamdalah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Silakan.